I have a question about how the ambulance, I saw in the paper, I've been down in Florida for a while, and there's gonna be a public reading of an ambulance ordinance coming up. How is billing done, if, a person has a 911 call out to the county? How is that billed today?
They each bill themselves.
They send out a bill?
Yes.
They can send out a bill to the specific person that they help. And then each, like EMS service
Okay.
or fire for that matter too, they get some portion from city funding. They get a portion from cities, and then they also get a portion from townships.
And how do they determine the rate? I've heard a lot of bitching from different neighbors on what they've been charged in the past. It's one rate, one time it's this, another time it's this. It doesn't seem to be any consistency in the billing rate. So that's, I was curious about that. So I'm anxious to come to listen to the ordinance. It seems like an absolutely great idea. It's not mandated by the state, as I read in the paper, and you folks are looking at having it at the county-wide. And I applaud that effort. Good job on that.
Thank you. I'll have to talk with Matt Gray to see how they bill it specifically for Glenwood. I think that would be the best option, but I'll talk to him and see what I can find out.
Okay, great. And then down the road, where it turns into Raleigh from Pease, Malcolm has a piece of property where the antenna went up, and they have an event there once a year where they have a bunch of motorcycles come in and so on and so forth. And I'm a landowner rights person, and they have done a great job down there. No litter, no beer cans. I just wanted to compliment them on that and keep it up. I don't have any problems. The neighbors said, well, it's a little bit loud, but hey, once a year, no problem. So good for them. I just wanted to share that. People in the county have a right to have their property to be used the way they like to have it. Now, if they want to have a nuclear waste dump there, that'd be different.
Different stories for different things.
Yeah, right. And then I'm curious. Right now, there's a burn ban on,
I believe so.
Yes.
There is, yes.
and then can you get in the past you were able to get a permit during a burn ban? Is that still possible?
You'd have to call your, what fire department you're in. Are you in Tabor, you think? Are you
I'm right on the edge between.
Tabor and Glenwood?
Yeah.
I would call to notify both of them.
Well, I always call non-emergency number before I ever do a
Right.
burn. But I'd like to do a burn on Wednesday when there's no wind, because I'm gonna have dry fertilizer put down. And I wanna do that, I wanna do a burn before that happens. And this has been a lousy
Understandable.
year. We're trying to get anything burned, so.
So call your fire department and talk to them,
Yeah.
see what they say.
Right.
At least they will be on call. They'll be prepared, the men will be notified.
Yeah.
You could be called for fire help.
Well, I've got a good crew with the fireboat, with the blowers and water and all that, and that's the first time I've ever done it, so. With that, let's see, I think, and Kevin Mayer is back in the engineering department. I called in to tell the guys there at the engineering department they're doing a great job, and had a great conversation with him. Glad to see he's back in the engineering department. With that being said, that's all I had, so. Thanks, you guys are doing a great job here in the county.
Thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is supervisor meeting updates. I had a Zoom meeting with the MAPA Finance Committee. Nothing earth shattering to comment on, so just working on their annual budget. Mr. Sayers?
Last week I had a Board of Adjustment meeting. Hilbert's Construction got their conditional use permit for a new rock quarry by Brothers Avenue and Highway 59 over near Henderson. And there were some concerns about specifically John Paul, who lives nearby, but that has been resolved, so I'm glad to hear that. And then last week, I also attended my first Golden Hills meeting. Golden Hills seems to be a great organization.
It is.
I truly enjoyed going there and meeting with the different people, Steve Byers, Susan Miller. And interestingly enough, this year is the 25th anniversary of the Les Hills Scenic Byway. So I think we're going to try to have some sort of event or fundraiser to mark that anniversary. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure that that event is in Mills County. So stay tuned to that in case you want to pitch in to sponsor a fund.
I sure hope. Mr. Crouch, you're up.
Okay, first of all, I went to a pancake feed for the 4-H kids. It was unbelievable, folks. It was standing room only. Walked in the door, I thought, well, I got 45 minutes to eat before meeting. Okay. I just made out my check, handed it to the little lady, visited with her because by the time it got to be 6:25, I had walked behind Dave Schoening coming through the door. He was just picking up his plate to get pancakes. I mean, that pancake man was flapping pancakes like crazy, and it was just great to see the turnout they had for 4-H'ers. After that, I went to a Farm Bureau meeting, discussed some things with them. Their biggest issue they brought back to me was, let's preserve the land in Mills County that we're working on. I think it'd be a good idea, some of this land needs to stay farm ground and maybe not wind turbines and solar panels and things like that. I was supposed to attend a Water Management Authority meeting and it was canceled after we drove to Oakland, Iowa on Wednesday morning. That was NISTA Red Oak. We are on course. The house we're building right now is kind of a prefab house that this guy builds for us. He's getting ready to set it on the pad. He says it will be open by June 1. We're holding to that. If anybody has any nice lots that they would like to sell reasonably, we're looking for 3 more to build more houses on. And we could build as many as 5.
They're in Pacific Junction.
Well, that's what we're looking at. So, I gotta call you back. So, we're looking at all the areas. If you know of any, you got somebody that has something for sale, let me know and I'll contract them on over. Some of them are going to be basically just 4-person houses. Some are going to be 6. So they're looking at doing maybe 2 split levels someplace. We don't like them, especially because of the help we have to hire. And then it also impedes on our night crew. If it's a 1 level, we can get by with 1 person at night. Otherwise, we have to have 2, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs. But we're trying to help the state out. They have come back to us and have asked the last 3 months, when are you going to get built? When are you going to get built? I think we're going to end up taking over highway out on 275. There's a house out there that Greg Schoening used to have, was turned in, and there's one up on 130th Street, or 230th, north of Lake Ohana that we will probably be taking over to occupy. Woodward is going to take a great downsize over the next couple of years, so that's where we are.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Jakob? Jakob Federal.
Okay, first on the list is a rental agreement with Fremont County. This is the same agreement we had with them last year. It's for a piece of equipment called the asphalt zipper. It's basically attaches to a front end loader and it is a reclaimer, so it grinds up the existing seal coat. And then we come by with a roller behind that, pack it back down, and then get it ready for seal coat production to come through. So typically we hire Stay Built to come in and grind the roads and they charge $5,000 per day. This asphalt zipper is $1,500 per week. So it's a big cost savings to us. We still might need Stay Built's big reclaimer when we're doing the entire road, but like what we used it primarily for last year was on 215th Street doing the edges. And we also use it all through Mineola, so kind of the narrower streets and manholes. It really works well. So we're planning to definitely use this on 250th for the edges going up. We can get this June 2nd and then it'll be like last year we had it for
1,500 a week.
Compared to 5,000 a day.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a huge cost savings to this. It turned out really good. So talk to the captain there down there, he's all good with it, so we'll sign it and I'll send it to them and then their board of supervisor. Chairman, sign it. We will get it in a second.
I would approve the rental agreement between Fremont County and Mills County on road equipment. You want to state of what it was, what it is?
Asphalt zipper.
That's 1,600 per week, right?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the equipment rental agreement with Fremont County, which is the asphalt zipper reclaimer for 1,500 a week. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It wasn't. Your next item, Jake, is approval of crack sealing quote for 221st.
All right, so we have a quote from Denko Highway Construction,
Denko.
221st Street, for 7.4 miles. This includes the crack filling for the whole road mobilization. It also includes lesson boards, which is what they did last time, so we'll notify the public a week in advance. And then the road will remain open, but it'll be use of part of the drivers. They also have quoted it where it's gonna be shorter sections, not where, since there is heavy traffic and a lot of curves and hills, a lot shorter closures. Total quote is $48,583.50.
50.
This would be completed in May.
Say no, sorry, 48.
$48,583.50.
I will make a motion to approve crack filling of 221st Street, 7.4 miles at 48,583.50. And they're gonna provide all the help and everything, the manpower it takes to,
It's all the, so it's not.
Okay.
Yes. Being that it's such heavy traffic and they have the means to message boards and all that, that's what we. For that road.
I'll second this motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the crack sealing quote for 221st Street for Denko. 7.4 miles at 48,583.50. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carried. Right-of-way variance for Ostrander.
Jeremy and Tamara those streams there, so Ingram Ave. Coming out of Glenwood on Ingram Ave, this is, actually, they applied for this back in October before it was denied. Now that we lowered the speed limit in order to try it again, because it was a sight distance issue. Went out and looked at it again, we're still short by the sight distance requirement.
You gotta back up to your right,
Okay, so this is them here,
right?
and they want the entrance going this way. The problem is kind of woolly in here. So they want to cut up through that hill there.
Right straight across from the road, kinda,
It's a little further down from Kidd.
to the, east, west.
There's a little, it's hard to see here, but there is a bit of a ravine where they want to place it for
Yep.
ease of construction, right in here. And so since that's the requirement for 45 mile per hour. We have 550 to the left. So we're 50 feet short. I'd be coming out, so 450 to the east. 50 feet short. They're very willing to work with us. I talked with Matt, the one that did it. He recalled even moving it. It's kind of weird because when you move it, just with your trees,
You don't gain much.
it's not necessarily you go this way, then you then have 500, 500. If we did get all the trees cleared, that would certainly help, and I think we would have it then.
If they cleared the trees.
If the trees were cleared, and they are in the county right away, it is something we would like to do. Thing is, we have the equipment to do it. It's not really good for chainsawing on that. We have the equipment. It's just that we'll pretty much have to close the road for that.
That would take some
For
time.
traffic. Since they are willing to work with this, probably the best idea is if we could come from the top off their property with the excavator, kind of pull most of them to fall up the hill. We'd still close one lane, but maintain traffic. That's probably the best option. The only issue is that we're coming out of brush season and we're getting into culvert repair now. So this would be a job. We could work with them, but it wouldn't be completed until next fall or winter. So
Would we cut the bank back or would they just remove the trees?
probably just remove the trees. I mean, I think we would get enough sight distance from that. I don't think we'd have to cut the bank back necessarily. It's not like we get one slice there. Or something.
Right. Get the trees out of there would be great.
Yeah. It'd look a lot nicer. We have a lot of trees that come down right here when it's windy. The past couple call outs have been for trees right here because a lot of them are dead and overhanging. So it is something we would like to clean up anyhow.
If people would drive 45, I would have no problem with it. Coming in this morning at 45, I'm being passed at 60, around the curves,
Try me, Richard.
behind the school bus, and it's amazing.
If they're willing.
When I came in, Richard, they were all 45.
Take the stickers off your car.
I'll get you some stickers.
If they're willing to let you get up on the bank, I think that would be a great help. Working with them, it would solve an issue for us. You can see the trees
Yeah.
hanging over, so if you could get rid of
Yeah.
most or all of them,
But
that would
it's
be
just-
great.
We won't get to this project until next year.
That'll be such part of it.
I have no problem approving variance if you're able to clear the brush. Work with them.
Is that then to not install this until that is cleared?
Yes, yeah, I would say there's stipulations, but I guess it's his motion, so, that would be a thought I want.
Yeah, they're very willing to work with those, willing to move it, but again, just with those trees, it wasn't as simple as, well, let's just move it here.
The curve, you don't gain anything.
And move it there and then just different angles of trees.
I'd make a motion to approve the driveway variance for Ostrander family for the Highway 30,
Yeah.
Ingram Ave. for Ingram Ave with the stipulation that the brush on the east and north side of the road is cleared before the driveway goes.
And that this will not happen, or we will not be able to do it, or we would not like to.
Will happen when Jake gets.
I guess
to
I wouldn't wanna see now that it's starting to leaf out and stuff, the amount of brush you'd have to handle, you know. Just
He said it
taking
would
care
come
of
till fall, winter anyway.
Yeah,
fall or winter, if that stipulation can be put in there.
yeah, just whenever you guys get to
We
it.
would put it on our project list. It wouldn't. get
Okay.
lost in paperwork. We'd agree with it for the system.
Problem with me.
Is there a second, Mr. Crouch?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second to approve the driveway variance for Ostraders on Ingram Avenue with stipulation of clearing the overhanging trees for site distance. Does that make sense?
Now, if he by chance wants to get in there, I would have no problem allowing him.
Yeah.
To have his.
Well, if he wants to go in the brush, he can go ahead.
Right,
No.
so.
The driveway doesn't go in until.
Driveway doesn't go until the brush is
Yeah.
cleared.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And it's not to be installed until the brush is clear.
They have that house up on the hill now. You want to change their driveway or did you? just want
No,
another
I think
one?
they want to put another piece in there because they have the whole field behind them. It's an exit strategy. Yes, sir. Any general discussion?
We got all the signed documents for the termination of the 28E agreement with Henderson. Sent that over to John, he's gonna get it filed with the state, so
Good.
that'll take effect
Good news.
once that's received.
Yeah.
And not a whole lot.
And I'm pretty sure, Jake, that April 7th is their first meeting because I think they had, in council left, I think they're on the first and the third Monday of the month. So I think they're considering on the 7th. I think that's what we discussed last time. But I don't think it would go to the state until May because the actual state approval isn't until the 9th of April. So I don't think they'll be able to get it in on time, I'm sure. Probably looking at May when it goes to the state. Okay.
We did have a meeting for L31 South with Western Engineering, their head materials guy and the materials district engineer from DOT came down. And wouldn't you know, we're the lucky ones, very close to 100 years of experience in the room and stumped everyone, don't lie. So we've all seen that happen, but it's right after they do it in hot weather, never in the winter. So we're a little perplexed as to exactly what's causing it, why it's so widespread. Kind of went through different scenarios. What we're gonna do right now is kind of wait for the hot weather to come in, traffic, and meet it down. We think it's gotta be something to do with moisture lifting up that mat. And so we're hoping maybe with the hot weather, some of those gases and stuff can escape and go way back out, and that's what we've seen on other projects. So kind of wait and see, and then after it all settles out, hopefully it does kind of get needed and pull them back in, and put some sort of seal on top of it, or it did. Kind of wait and see, but yeah, they are really confused as to, really it's the time of year. If it was right in the, after the summer, you'd see it pop up within a couple days usually, and then it goes back down. But to come up in the winter, just really.
Keep on.
Yep. So still working. See, looking for that, but we are the lucky ones. Not something you wanna hear.
Yeah, I've never seen it. That's weird. Weird. Thank you, Jake.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mark Hughes and Sandy Wenton.
No, exactly. Why are you?
Morning, Mark. Good. Andy?
Guess I'm here to try to figure out the path I need to get on to get the tip going onto the White Shell subdivision. We, I believe we got it approved a couple of years ago, and there's some copy of the paperwork. The agreement is Park Place 5 tip at that time. We were calling this project Park Place 5, it backs up to Park Place 4 edition. Through the process, we decided to change the name to Whitetail, just go with the new name. I personally have never done a tip before, so I'm kind of wanting a little direction of what I need to do, what I should be doing to go down the road. Get it on record. Current project out there, we have 3 houses complete. Later of the month, all 3 houses are moved in. We're in the process of houses. So one is being framed, the basement is dug on another one, lot 3 right out. Plans are being drawn up for lot 4 ones. That's about all I have. Just trying to figure out what the process is.
Are you trying to do 13 homes in Whitetail then, Mark?
There's actually 14. There's a lot that's kind of hidden there.
I got it, Mark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's considered part of it.
That is part of that subdivision, yeah. Bill and Peggy Warren live in that lot 14. Lot 5 has a house on it. Chase and Casey Millam live on lot 5. And then lot 13, Michael and Amy Hop will be moving in that one shortly. And on lot number 2, we have a house that's all framed up on that one. Lot 3, a basement started digging yesterday. And lot 4, the plans are being drawn up for it now.
What will be your process on this, Amber?
We're gonna get in touch with our bonding attorneys. Just looking at evaluation, sorry. If we move forward with this, it'll freeze valuation either for January 2025 or January 2026. So whatever the valuation is on those homes would be your base. So if they get assessed the higher rate, then they can get a whole lot off of those for TIF. But I can contact them and see what next steps are.
Should wait on the houses already going or started.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that might be set by law, so I don't know if there's a way to do that. It looks like right now all your valuations are still on the lower end. I don't think, so it just depends, like if they take it from January 2025, I think it'll be fine, but if they make it to January 2026, I don't know what those valuations look like. I can contact them and see with the board's approval, I can contact them and see.
It's unfortunate that we're in this predicament. I mean, you guys got approved for a TIF. I mean, Robertson at the time, that was our auditor. 2022.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get something worked out for you guys.
And I'll just keep you guys all informed as I move forward on it.
There's no action item on this, so we'll just
No.
note it.
Yep.
You'll get in touch with the market attorney and get all that. Yeah, yeah.
I think when they make it, they subdivision.
I've not done it from this side yet, so I couldn't tell you for sure how that's gonna roll.
Christine Whitney is pretty sharp on it, so.
Yeah, I've worked with them quite a bit, so I'll, Amy? Okay, so I'll email her the next couple days and try to get. I'll keep everybody. moving.
Thank you for coming in and bringing this to our attention.
Thank you.
Keep you posted when we can, Mark.
Mr. Sheriff?
Special event going on.
Okay.
State your name and who you're with, please.
Great, folks. Okay, here, go. I get the woods spot wide, it wouldn't matter. I just wanted to bring to your attention, John and I have been working on
Good.
an opportunity. We think it's important to us, to understand what's going on in Mills County and what we might need to react. The special event permit, we borrowed a template from, City Council Bluffs. We're in the process of tweaking it, and I guess that's the best way to describe what we're doing right now. The tweaking process is make it not theirs, but ours, and more realistic than what the events you might see. You know, some of the stuff that we, that I guess brought it to our attention. We had a phone call requesting to rent out the racetrack on the 4th of July. And the number of people that could be there was anywhere between 500 and 5,000. Well, when you have a number between 500 and 5,000, 500 is one thing, 5,000 is a whole different animal. So we're working on building that out. Routing ultimately is one of our concerns, but end all be all, I think it's gonna have to come to the board of supervisors for approval.
Yes, it will.
John and I were having a conversation yesterday. The template that we used said you have to have it in 2 weeks at a time, but then right down below it said it might take 2 to 4 weeks to get it in front of the board for approval. So I guess as we're going along, I'll be sure to include you on a draft as we go. But ultimately, I guess it's just a quick question I have for you guys before as we continue through is how much time in advance do you need something like this if we're pushing it through? I mean, this 4 weeks.
Notifying the public would be my biggest concern. I mean, I think we're willing to work in any time frame as long as we're playing by the rules.
As long as you guys are comfortable with it and the
Yeah.
public knows about it, I have no
Well,
problem.
And I think that I don't have a problem doing that, 2-week timeline, as long as we can get it on your agenda and get it signed in plenty of time.
2 weeks sounds
Reasonable.
reasonable, yes. 2 weeks sounds reasonable in my mind, because a week is cutting it a little bit too close. 3 weeks is too long. 2 weeks would be reasonable.
Well, one of the things that we did pick up on too, that, we're gonna try and rectify, and that's gonna come to you, is the Council Bluffs permitting process is not very well laid out in your ordinance. So we're gonna have to draft an ordinance to come together to make sure that we have the justification behind it, kind of an outline of what needs to be when. And then, the permit would cover the vast majority of the details of it. It was, would you call it vague, John?
For Council Bluffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just didn't support it very well. So we have a little bit of work to do before we get there. But I wanted you guys to know before we, in case you get some feedback.
Good.
I will say, either you talked to Matt White at all about this? Because
I
about
have not included that.
month and a half ago, we approved planning and zoning to start drafting a special events ordinance.
Oh.
So we got that ball rolling, and so
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
already with planning and zoning. So if you guys can help provide your feedback to them, and we
Yeah.
can incorporate into whatever, the process has already started for it. We can get it done.
Well, and
The more you guys can handle too, the cheaper it is for us, so.
Well, we
I
don't
just assume you drive the.
We
bus
don't
on
pay
it.
Matt to do this. This is his basic work. It doesn't cost him any extra.
Okay, yeah, I will reach out to him.
You can do like a tiered process where the event has so many people, you have 4 weeks and it's basically 2 weeks. That way, if it's a bigger event that takes more planning, it's a little bit longer lead time.
Yeah, Yeah, and I think the one person that I have not, included in this yet is Doug from the racetrack. This all started to stem from somebody from the council calling and saying, 505,000. Doug has been very good to work with out there with events. I don't want to leave him out. I've never met the guy, never talked to him. This is just what the guy told me, so the intent is to bring him on the conversation at some point as well. We've got lots of, events that are regular occurrences throughout the county. Does Mill County Fair Board have to fill out a permit? But technically, that Mill County Fair Board is their own entity, they're on their own property. I'm not sure we're gonna require them to have a permit if they're not open on those. So we've got some other things we have to work out before we get to the point of being, another one, the bike ride in Neola. They take care of their own streets, they're not putting on the roadway, but they are.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah, so, but we got some stuff we have to work through yet, and we'll get there. Good, I just want to keep you guys in the loop, and then, some of the groups that we're looking at broaden this through, obviously, would be our office. And most of the time, it's gonna include Iowa State Patrol, Iowa DOT, EMS, Attorney County Engineer, get everybody's input, and ultimately, like I said, it'll come to you guys for ultimate approval.
I think what the ordinance that they were looking at down there was more of the traffic. Like how many porta potties you gotta have, things like that. So we can make sure that we incorporate your guys' concerns into that one. It makes sense to kill two birds with one stone, in my mind.
Pardon me. So you're looking at, having an ordinance in place if you want to have a fundraiser event, in Mills County? Because I'm looking at having a wine by the water event. And I have porta potties in place. I have parking off road. I have, first aid there and that type of thing.
Mhm.
In the past, I've called and notified, the Mills County Fire and Rescue. And they could really give a shit less of me telling them in advance that it's happening an event. And that really surprised me. I thought, well, being a good county citizen, I'd let them know I'm gonna have a couple, 200-300 people out here, that they should be aware of that. Well, okay, fine, something happens, call us. I was really quite surprised. Now, this has been a number of years ago.
Yeah.
Because I had the Cowgirl International Pasture Golf Tournament, Night and Art Festival. Then I had the one Bass Non-Dynamite Fishing Contest. Then I had the pumpkin picnics out there. And I had lots of people out there for these events. These were all cancer charity fundraising events. And I'm looking at doing this again in the future. And I always pride myself in having a good event and not having anything that would be dangerous. But are you looking at having a fee associated with this?
It's a great question. We're not to that point yet.
Okay,
And I would say that, from the conversations that we've had so far, there's been no discussion about fees.
Okay.
And I say that because we don't want this to be a financial burden, for instance, like for you, who's out there trying to raise funds, raise money for a cause. But my thought and my intent, the reason that I want to follow up on this is because if you have 300 people down there, I don't know who those people are, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the Socialist Party of the United
right.
States
Mhm.
coming in for a rally, whether that's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand.
so I think what I was hoping from this
Mhm.
conversation and this process is that there's awareness. You mentioned that you contacted, Clement EMS,
Mhm.
let them know. I don't know if you called the sheriff's office.
Mhm.
Maybe you're not gonna close the roadway, you're not gonna have any problem that way.
Mhm.
But if you've got 300 extra cars coming in on a gravel road
Mhm.
or a, county road,
Yep.
where you
Yep.
maybe you do accidentally have a little bit of overflow onto the roadway.
Mhm.
Really, probably the biggest thing is we wanna know about it. So, and then I have your contact number. So that the
Yeah.
day that something, I call or I get a call that, hey, we got 20 cars parked on the roadway, I'm gonna look in my special events folder, and I'm gonna say, well, this is, I forget your name, I apologize.
Sure. Oh, I'm Greg Stein.
Greg. So I'm gonna get a hold of Greg on the cell phone and say, hey, bud, we got some cars up on the highway, can you make an announcement? Just have them come pull them off.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's not, my intent was not to turn this into a moneymaker for the county. It's just an awareness deal. And then,
I'm
When
totally on
I-
board with that.
you know, when you have this routing,
Mhm.
if it's on a county roadway, I'm probably not gonna contact DOT.
Yeah.
But, yeah, EMA, EMS, county attorney, county engineer, absolutely. And us, yeah.
Okay, I'm totally on board for safety.
Yeah.
And I don't like see it. As you get older, my propensity to deal with dipshits and dumbasses diminishes significantly. And,
I could say the same thing.
yeah, okay.
Well, welcome to his world.
And,
No, so the intent is not to turn it
Okay.
into a burden
Okay.
for like a fundraising opportunity. It would be more just an opportunity to keep everybody in the know through the process from start to finish. You know, one of the things that is gonna be asked is that's in the ordinance in Council Bluffs, that we haven't worked through all this yet, is an insurance policy to cover,
Yeah.
you know, I don't wanna have, I would hate to have this group of 5,000 people come in and they just come in and, yeah, we got a $10,000 blanket.
I've been
umbrella policy.
working that exact issue, and Philadelphia insurance is the one that's pretty good for event insurance. Because previously on my other events, I've gone through local insurance companies, and that's been $1,500 to $1,700, and that takes out a lot of the money. Whereas Philadelphia, if you work with them, that insurance premium is much lower.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm gonna do wine, because beer brings in the stupid, whiskey definitely brings in the stupid. And I hate wine, I don't drink beer, I love whiskey, but it's not gonna do any of that.
Right.
And I'm curious, Iowa has the Iowa domestic liquor license, are you guys familiar with that? It's a $25 liquor license, I can't believe they have something that cheap in Iowa. And all you can have on premise is Iowa produced wine. Would that be a liquor license that would come through you folks for approval?
I've never, I would imagine so.
Probably.
Okay, all right, I've been reading up on that, and that would be something in the future I will probably be applying for. Because I'll have wine by the water, because what I'm doing is, I'm redoing my park area down there for, amputee veterans. Ones that are recent amputees who, are self-conscious in public. I was brought up, you don't pick, you don't point at people, you don't stare at people. And people that are recently amputees feel uncomfortable in public. And down there, I've got the concrete boat ramp that goes right into the water. And it's no access, it's not public access, so they have a whole place to themselves. And I've been visiting with the public health folks here about septic system. Those folks are really helpful. I mean, the whole county just seems to be here to help rather than be hindrance. So, I don't know what's the matter with the government here to be helpful rather than, you know, a great big pain in the ass, so. I just have compliments everywhere for Mills County. I'm glad I'm here rather than somewhere else. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, so that's it for the permitting. The only other thing, having worked through that,
Oh, thank you.
the budget process, within the next couple of weeks, I'd like to bring a request here today. I think we're comfortable with your budget. And then put that next year, cuts we made, still okay on the deputy. So hopefully have that to you, if not next week, it'll be the week after.
Good deal.
Hire
Thank you, sir.
a
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Leslie, you are up.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's for myself. Yeah, we can do something.
Thank you, sir. I'll call you and give you my contact information.
Perfect. Thank you.
How are you this morning? You have a request to hire to fill a vacancy. What do you plan to hire? Full-time, part-time?
Another new full clerk, somebody who
be trained to do it.
What do you think, guys? You do have this in your budget this year, correct?
The same. Yes.
Well, my opinion is, I think all three of us walk the halls. We all do business there. But I'll tell you what, when these gals are all running around taking care of paper, going here, going there, getting this done, serving these customers, most of the people are pretty good about standing in line, but a lot of them get to the point where, they'll pull you off the side and they say, geez, what a mess. Only knew what you had to do behind the counter, you probably wouldn't say anything. Because everything has to be in order. And if it isn't, it doesn't go through. And then you're called back to do it. Oh, well, didn't know that. So, no, and the extra driver's license and stuff keeps that gal pretty busy in that department, so I think it's well worth the effort of serving the people, which we're supposed to do here. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Is that a motion or?
So I'm not gonna. Reason I said no is because she's my niece. I will talk about it, but I'm not gonna make a motion on it or vote on it.
All right. What do you think, Mr. Sayers?
Melissa, for the same reason I talked to you last week about that event on Friday or so. We're in a tough budgeting process, tough year. Amber has found that the county has budgeted into a deficit. This is either going to be the second or third year we've done that. You think about balanced budgets, you usually think that the federal government can't get a control on it, but it seems like the county can't either. The new property tax bill in the legislature worries me a little bit. What's gonna happen? If it passes as is, there will have to be cuts. Hopefully it doesn't pass as is. We won't know about it for a few weeks, probably the end of the legislative session in May or so, actually know. But just seeing, we've been spending more money than we've been taking in. Got to get a grip on it somehow. We've made good strides this year. I think we're asking for half of what we asked last year from the taxpayers. And my experience after speaking with people in the community about it, they're fine that the once or twice a year that they come in, but they got to wait longer. Also speaking, I would be fine if you made the decision that going forward, the office is closed during lunch, just like driver's licenses, if you don't get an additional person. I think it'd be a good idea to get into the habit of that, just so that people understand, like they do with driver's license now, that it's happened. We gotta figure out something moving forward. At some point, we're really gonna have to start cutting. We will. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone in here. About every week, we talk about what the state's gonna do to us and how we're running out of money, but then we don't do anything about it. So we gotta start doing something. I, of course, applaud all your staff. I love them to death, especially Diane Keys, or I know her as Diane Bing. You have a great staff. You do. But one of those, on the flip side, in Iowa code, when we start making those cuts, we got to look at what's essential and what's not essential, and what's in code and what's not in code. Like, for example, I think I told you this on Friday, like driver's license isn't in Iowa code. You don't have to do driver's license in Iowa code. Nothing saying we require it. Of course, I want to make sure that we can, that we do.
Yes.
I want to make sure that it's here for the services. But I would be really concerned to allow you to hire another person more than what you have now. And going into a pretty tricky next few years where we're gonna have to make cuts. So I would rather, we can see what bill state legislature passes, right? We can see, but I would prefer that you operate as is with your staff now. Nothing's gonna happen to your staff. Nothing's gonna change what you have now. I prefer to operate that way, so I'll be voting no.
There hasn't been a motion made yet, so, really nothing to vote on.
I know, I'm just saying, I will be voting no.
Do we have a motion to approve or disapprove? Or
I'll make a motion to,
not approve?
I'll make a motion to table this. I'll vote yes, not vote no. I'll make a motion to table this until May. Table it until we know what the legislature's gonna do, okay? And when we're operating in a deficit, that's a bad sign.
Yes.
We gotta do something. I'm sure you agree. I can't run my house and buy groceries, and when I operate in deficit, well, it's bad luck for me. That's just how it is. I can't do that. So we gotta get government involved too.
We have a motion to table the approval to hire the vacancy. Is there a second? I will second Mr. Sayers' motion to table it until further notice. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Yes.
So going forward, if we are staying the way that we are,
Mhm.
right now, driver's license does close for lunch because that's just been the way that it is. If we did decide to close the entire office for lunch for an hour, do you decide that time-wise? Or, I mean, do I have to have your approval?
No, you don't have to have our approval. It's requirement. You can decide when it's open and when it's closed.
Okay.
No, that's up to you. Whatever you think. I mean, you may not want to close it. I personally think it's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Just to give you guys a breather if you do get overwhelmed. I don't think it's a bad idea to close it over lunch, but that's gonna be your call.
And that will be, yeah, we'll look at that. The only couple other things with that, if we close for lunch, that's fine. One, number two, in our handbook, we are not able to carry over more than, I think it's 120 hours of vacation.
Okay.
In the event that is, because I do have a couple of employees that have the time. I don't want them to lose that vacation because they've earned it. And in the event that we are short enough that we are not able to give them that time off, is that something, if it comes up, that I come to you, or is that something that I work out in my office with HR? Any insight on that? I just don't want, I want to keep.
Well, they earned it. They need to keep it.
Yes, and we've got
Absolutely.
a great staff. I want to
If you do.
keep them happy.
Yes.
And they deserve, when you work and you are short and you do have stressful times, time off is big mental thing.
So
But
you'll be one short with this vacancy that won't be filled, and then if you have one or two on vacation, you'll be even one or two more short, so.
We would be down to, I mean, as of right now,
Yeah, close your office, then that's your
yeah,
call.
if we run with one person in each department, fine, we've done that, been there, done that, we've done it, but in that event, I don't want that person to feel like they cannot take their time off.
They have to.
You know, they have to, they need to, it's, you know,
They
for
should.
your mental stability, you
Yeah,
do need time
yeah.
off, but.
Well, and you know, it's
I
one of
just-
those things from my perspective. I mean, you just work in Potawatomi County, you see the lines that they have in Potawatomi County at their D&B, and it's much longer and much more of a wait than we have here.
Yes.
And that's just one of those things that we've had a great treasurer's office. We have loved Jill to death, love all your staff, like I said. But, you know, we're pretty lucky with how we've had it in the past.
Mhm.
I think we're pretty lucky even what we have now. Still much shorter than other places comparable. I mean, you still have
Yes.
people.
Yes.
So I guess in my mind, it's kind of one of those things that just with the state legislature, with unfunded mandates, with the rising cost of inflation, things like that, you know, this may just be a new normal for the county.
One other question is overtime and or comp time, because the way that we are operating as of right now, I mean, this next week could kind of continue the same, but we are busy enough waiting on customers coming in, mail coming in, that things that are on our desk and or title work, taxes are sitting on the desks and they're not getting done. Not necessarily taxes, because we've got more than one, but at least our auto girls, I mean, we've got things that are sitting there that have been sitting for longer than they should, longer than they normally do. Do I need your approval for a little extra time for them to be able to come and complete it? Because our 8 to 4, Monday through Friday is not, we're not getting things done. So when we get title work, stuff that comes in the mail, we have a list, goes on there. We have a courtesy letter that we send out to our customers. Your paperwork's here, you need your signature, X amount of dollars is due. Those are not getting done, which is fine, because if you were to call the state, they would say, you're an adult, you know, when you purchased your vehicle, you know, type thing. But some of our courtesies are not getting completed just because we are so busy.
Yeah.
With people coming in, and this is our busy time anyway.
Yep.
You know, November, December, January, kind of slow, February picks up, March through even, you know, October, September is busy for the auto. You've got taxes on top of that, driver's licenses getting busier, you know, as because we're a walk-in, you know, type. So I just want to make sure everybody's happy in my office. You know, I mean, like you said, we've got a great staff. We all work very well together. I just want to make sure that we are not overstressing them.
Yeah.
If I can see it. We've all got stacks of things, you know, and we've got dealers that come in and they'll leave. We started it, they'll leave 2 titles. They can wait for 2. Anything else they have to drop. But when we hold on to those for more than a week, it's stressful for them because they're waiting on us to do our job, but we can't do that because of everything's, you know. I mean, all new to me. I don't know how that, if I can just do that and we, you know, go forth, or if I need.
So you have to provide the service. So
Well, yeah.
You can't provide the service without the staff, then you'll let you come back. We're gonna have to shut your office down or give you some help.
I think that we ought to provide the service. I don't know if we have to shut you guys down now. Amber, how long is your office open? 8 to 4:30, isn't it? So is there any way, like, okay, we could say that you help the people from 8 to 4?
That's what they do.
But
And then
then
they close
after
at 4 and then
Or then from
But
4 to
some-
4:30?
But sometimes, and it's just been, I mean, when we're running low on people, so yes, we do close the window at 4 o'clock, but during the day, we do try to pre-balance, make sure that drawers are balanced, checks are, you know, everything's balanced, but sometimes when you're that busy, we don't have that opportunity, and it takes us that long to even get balanced, and then it's 4:30, and then we still have to complete it, and then it's 4:45. You know, by the time we're balance and then, you know, we're able to leave. So that's the only thing that I worry about is how long I ask my girls to stay in the office just to balance and not give them that extra time when they're here and they're doing that, you know, and then some of them, you know, feel like they need to come in early in the morning. Well, do that because you're not getting paid to come in because we're here from 8 to
Yeah.
4:30 is what our hours are. Lunchtime wise, you know, that would be fine. I can tell you that no matter how much we put that out, there's still gonna be somebody that walks in at
So it will be.
11:25 and then we're here for another 20 minutes and I've done that. I've said, you guys go to lunch, I will handle that, and not that I need to complain about my lunches, but my time's just as important as theirs is, you know, and everybody getting full lunches, and that's the only hard part. I want to keep everybody happy that I
Yeah.
have. If we're not going to be able to fill that void, that spot, I want to make sure everybody's happy and then you are happy with me.
Oh, I'm ecstatic with you. You're the best treasurer I've had as a supervisor. You're the only one I've had, actually.
Listen, wait a minute. We're all there.
Doesn't that work out nice?
Yeah.
No, you know, it's I'm fine with whatever way that you can find to help your employees feel comfortable, not stressed, or at least less stressed, but you know, another person, we just don't have the funds for that. So whatever we can do in other ways, you know, I'm all ears, but another person, we don't have the money.
So whatever I decide would
Let
be.
us know.
Whatever
Yeah,
you have
let
to
us
do in
know.
in overtime is fine with us.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just the budget side of it, so.
Yeah.
It's your office. We have a motion and a second still on the table to table this until further notice. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Crouch.
Staying,
Sorry, Greg, we're in the middle of a motion there. I didn't want to bring anyone else in.
It was my birthday, the 21st, and I hit the big 3 in her department. My driver's license and the service was exceptional. I went over and did my property tax and she waited on me. A painless event, bought a hot rod, so I went over to get a driver auto. The service over there was great too. So all 3 of them were wonderful.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah. So
Yes, they are.
thank you again. I appreciate all the work your staff does over there, and it's always been like that, so. Either doesn't go unnoticed or unappreciated by many of us in the county. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll even send you a thank you note in the mail. You can give it to your staff.
Are you not gonna invite her to wine on the water?
Well, I can come there to that if you'd like, when I do that.
Can you close your window a half hour earlier to get balanced and get out of there in time?
As far as closing it, like 3:30?
Whatever it takes.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things with the deficit, we can't hire another person.
right. I mean, it's the backlash is one. I mean, honestly, that is
Yeah.
one. I mean, some people will be
Yeah.
receptive of it,
Yeah.
others are not, just because. And we try to stagger lunches, you know, but when you're as short as we are, it's.
Yeah.
I don't even like having one person in each department, let alone, you know, one person to kind of do it all, but.
Oh, I'm comfortable with you closing out watching this. I mean, it's one of those things, people, you know, you're gonna get your thirsty story, you know, on Facebook, and people are gonna complain, but, you know, it's one of those things. People fight for lower taxes, fight for smaller government, one that's less costly, and this is just one of those things that come with it. We gotta try and make the best what we can, with what we have. So, I appreciate all you do.
Thank you. Lori, you're up.
You didn't bring me one? Oh, okay.
Your item on the agenda is consideration formal action approval to hire a part-time clerk effective 4/1/25.
Is she local?
Mhm.
Yes. Well, you're down one person now, you only have two people in the office. And we don't want you to close at lunch, as we don't want that to happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And two people is different than, the treasurer's office who has six. So I have no problem getting in another person. So I'll make a motion to hire Jacqueline Carta at $20 an hour, 29 hours a week, as a part-time clerk for the recorder's office effective April 1st, 2025.
Don't make sense to me, folks, but we just got through browbeating a young lady that says, nope, can't have attorney, can't have help, can't do this, can't do that for them. Can we serve the people? No. Is that gonna be all right? I guess it will be. Jack, I'm sorry, I'm kind of criticizing you in a way, but when you sit here and you tell this person that nope, can't do it, when we're deep in the hole, our budget won't stand it. And I just have a question about the sheriff on this. Also, are you at the 140,000 with him?
We haven't voted on anything yet.
Okay.
I will say, it's one of those things, like I mentioned, you got six people in one office. When you look around the state, six people is quite a large amount for a county our size, and then you have two in our recorder's office. So that's why I'm fine with Lori getting one, but Melissa, I'm a little bit more cautious about. I want to see what happens with this legislative session. I think that makes perfect reasonable sense.
I will second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve a part-time clerk at 29 hours a week or less, at $20 an hour. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Crouch?
No, abstain.
Thank you. Amber, farm tax credit applications.
I have two that you have. Right there. Asking for approval for those. I have to get credits to state by April 1st.
Do we need to list them or not?
No. No, it's usually, I don't think you do for the homestead either.
Oh. So.
I would like to had
I don't
interviewed
recall it,
people,
but
I mean,
yeah.
It has at the bottom for you guys, your approval.
Milligan. I would make a motion to approve the family farm tax credit application for the two farmers listed.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the two family farm tax credit applications provided by the auditor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. New business. Nitty gritty. Would I have anything right now?
I don't agree.
Good.
Make a motion to adjourn at 9:30.
Crouch.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to adjourn at 9:30 a.m. Is there any? Ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned.
What's the proper protocol to get on the agenda other than just showing up?
Get a hold of the auditor and get a hold of her before
Okay,
Friday.
By how?
By Friday, the Friday morning would be the latest.